Coming up, a special place on the planet.
Living in a community like Kodiak is more like having a very large extended family. We literally are friends and neighbors.
How they helped a child survive a rare bone cancer. And then later,
This is from the amputation.
the loss of an arm.
There's no place like Alaska. I can't think of anywhere else where a community would rally around a family.
Also on Frontiers.
We joke that I said I'm so stubborn the kidney's gonna last like 50 years.
Ahead, another story about the ultimate gift of life.
I received a very strong body part. I mean, I know it.
The spirit of giving in Alaska, how it's big, like the state itself.
Sponsorship for Frontiers with Rhonda McBride is provided by your local Alaska Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. Alaska, where there are old triumphs, but also new frontiers, with challenges as great as the state itself, but a belief that the best is yet to come, bringing you the faces, the places, and the spirit of the last frontier. This is Frontiers with Rhonda McBride.
Welcome to Frontiers. You know, you can find a lot of big hearts everywhere in our state, so it is hard to pick one story that exemplifies the spirit of Alaskan giving. But we did. That story took us to Kodiak, an island community in the Gulf of Alaska with a reputation for generosity. As the poet John Donne said 400 years ago, no man is an island, that we are all part of a larger continent. And although Kodiak is an island, ordinary people connect in extraordinary ways. Our story begins 8 years ago with a girl named Maddy Sickafoose, or Maddy. She was just 5 when she hurt her arm in a trampoline accident. But when it didn't heal, doctors took a closer look.
Why in the world would they need chest x-rays? It never occurred to us.
That Maddy had a rare bone cancer.
They thought that it was Ewing sarcoma and that we would need to get to Seattle as soon as possible.
But the notorious Kodiak fog moved in.
For 3 days, we sat in the airport for every flight.
A Coast Guard C-130 was their next best hope.
So this is a very similar plane.
This is.
Austin Torres will never forget the day the Coast Guard came to the rescue.
Maddy was sitting right here.
Torres was the flight engineer.
So we fly with headsets. These allow us to talk to each other on the airplane and also talk to air traffic control and other airplanes. I removed mine and I put it on Maddy.
He snapped this picture.
And what I liked about the picture was it showed both Maddy and her mom just smiling. They knew everything was going to be okay.
Because even though the weather in Kodiak is undependable, you can always count on the people.
It's a close community. So that's why you want to help out everybody. It could be helping people chop wood. It could be just anything you can do to help anybody.
That help would be there for Maddy, but first, she had to survive years of aggressive chemotherapy, like the other kids at Seattle's Children's Hospital, and her friend Christopher, who died not long after this picture was taken.
It was really hard when we lost someone in our group, because then we feel like it lowers our chances.
Maddy almost didn't make it herself.
It was so hard. Nobody knows how hard that was. We didn't know from one day to the next if she was going to make it.
The long stays in Seattle also took a financial toll on the family. As a single parent, Jessica Gardner needed to work, but instead had to care for Maddy. But the community rallied around the family. One church paid their utilities, while others anonymously chipped in for rent and cell phone bills. Local businesses like John's Heating Service helped out too.
Wow, this stove has been abused a little bit.
John Butler replaced the family's furnace for free.
It is the Kodiak way. They had other things to worry about. They needed to take care of this child, their family, things like that. Get them fixed up and going.
Help came in other ways. Free coffee from one business, haircuts from a salon, even teachers who shave their heads to raise money for Maddy.
And so we just wanted Madison to know that, bald heads are beautiful, I think. just for her to know that we cared about her.
At Fish and Game, Maddy's grandmother's coworkers helped her travel to Seattle.
People stepped in and did my job. There are guys there that donated every bit of leave they had so that I got a paycheck. It's pretty phenomenal.
And when they came home from Seattle, they found the house clean and the refrigerator full of food.
Whatever we needed, they rallied around us.
I think the clutch for me was when we came home and there were flowers in our garden. It was so important to us.
You're here, you're back. How are you?
I'm good.
Here at KVOK Radio, they've followed Maddy over the years. She volunteers for their annual radiothon for St. Jude's Children's Hospital and has helped the station raise not just money, but awareness about kids and cancer.
If you had some advice to give someone who found out that they had cancer, a child that had cancer, what would your advice be?
To just embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's part of who you are now, because people will kind of always know you as, oh, it's the girl who had cancer, that's the guy who had cancer and survived.
Maddy is only 14, yet such a voice of inspiration.
She's always smiling. Even when I remember we were on the air and she said she may lose her arm. And she just kind of blurted it out. It didn't really set in until we were off the air. And I was like, wait, you just said you might lose your arm. And she's like, yeah, we're going to the doctor.
Yes, Madison lost her arm in March. Although she beat the cancer, her arm never healed from a tumor that was removed and a constant source of pain. And through it all, the one thing people remember is Maddy's smile. A few weeks after her amputation, Maddy took part in the radio station's St. Jude fundraiser. Well, up next, how Maddy Sickafoose has turned wounds into wisdom.